I was a neurosurgeon recognized as one of the best in the field, but I retired from my practice last year. After losing my parents, I suddenly lost my purpose in practicing medicine. While blankly looking at my parents' honeymoon photos at my family home, I thought, if I go there, something might change. With plenty of time on my hands and having accumulated considerable financial assets during my career as a neurosurgeon, even if nothing changes there, I can still enjoy my hobby of fishing here, providing a good distraction. That's it. I'll go here too. And so, I booked a one-way ticket to Hawaii where my parents spent their honeymoon. While there, I had the pleasure of meeting Emily and her mother, Madison. The two of them run a long-established inn on the island. Thanks to them, I felt my hard heart gradually softening. Someone help. But one day, I heard Emily's scream. When I hurriedly went inside, I found Madison collapsed near the stairs. My name is Alex Thompson. I've had an outstanding memory since I was little, and have been praised as a child prodigy. I don't forget things I've heard once. I also have a photographic memory. I don't remember studying much until high school, and I couldn't understand at all why people around me would pull all-nighters to study before tests. Then I decided to become a doctor for a certain reason. The girl I had a crush on was determined to become a doctor. Her name was Samantha Williams. She was my first love. I was praised for my good grades, but I didn't have friends. But Samantha talked to me normally. I, who had no immunity to girls, fell in love with her just by being talked to. I'm going to medical school, I declared to my parents in the spring of my junior year of high school. The reason was because Samantha had said she wanted to become a doctor. You might be amazed at how simple my motive was, but for me who didn't have anything I particularly wanted to do, aiming for the same thing as the person I liked made the future seem somehow brighter. However, my parents, who had never said anything about my career path until then, opposed it this time. Being a doctor isn't that easy. But I got a 4.0 GPA. That's not what I mean. Doctors deal with people. You lack sympathy, right? My mother said, and I tilted my head. I wasn't aware of that myself. Not really. I'm not like that. My parents sighed. Alex, do you remember what you said to the person who was looking for their lost dog the other day? Oh, I said it's too late to panic after it's gone. I mean, isn't that right? It's still okay because it's a dog, but if it were their child, it would be a big problem. That's what I mean. The reason you're not suited to be a doctor, but it's the truth, isn't it? If it's important, it's the owner's duty to keep a close eye on it. As I counted, my mother sternly said, "It's not always right to say the right thing. People have hearts." No matter how much my parents persuaded me, I couldn't understand what they were saying at all. Rather, she actually upset me. It was the first time someone had directly disrespected my personality. If it comes to this, I'll definitely become a doctor and show my parents. I ignored what my parents said, and after graduating from college, I took the MCAT exam and eventually got accepted to medical school. On the contrary, Samantha didn't pass the MCAT. Alex, I'll try again. Just give a year. Samantha came all the way to my house just to tell me her decision. You say you'll study for another year, so why didn't you do that until now? I asked. I honestly tell her what I think. What? If you properly analyze yourself and study, you should be able to pass, right? Yay, that's right. Time is limited. Isn't that kind of ability also important to become a doctor? Samantha, who had been looking down until halfway, raised her head. Alex, you may be good at studying, but you can't understand the emotions and feelings of others. I definitely don't want someone like you to be my doctor. Samantha, who was always gentle, glared at me with tears in her eyes and ran away. Though I had a crush on her, I believed she was wrong. That's why I gave her a lecture on what was right. Why on earth did she retort? What an arrogant attitude. My affection for Samantha vanished instantly. Doctors should tell people the right things. Feelings or whatever have nothing to do with doctors. I became a doctor to prove to those who denied who I am, and to myself, that my logical approach was right. Time passed, and I turned 51 this year. I'm now blankly fishing at the sea. I started fishing, which was my father's hobby, somehow after quitting my medical practice. Yes, I quit medicine last year. It's not like I was kicked out of the medical world. After all, I had been praised as one of the best neurosurgeons for a long time. But one day, I suddenly lost my purpose in practicing medicine. Another zero cash today. I put away my fishing gear and go home. I, who lost my mother 5 years ago and my father 2 years ago, now live alone in my family home. I was so busy that before I knew it, I missed my chance to get married, and with my parents gone, I truly became alone. No, it's not that I didn't get married because I was busy. I never fell in love with anyone other than Samantha back in high school. I wonder how people fall in love. I guess even if I do, they'll probably bring up feelings again, and in the end, marriage seems like a hassle too. For no reason, I took my parents' album. In the photos, they didn't look troubled at all. They both laughed a lot and seemed to be having a great time. What's so fun about that? Then I found their honeymoon photos. My parents said they went to Oahu Island, Hawaii for their honeymoon. That's where my father tried fishing on a boat for the first time and became fascinated by the charm of fishing. I want to see this beautiful sea together with her. I want to eat delicious food together with her. I want to make her laugh. I hope you'll also meet someone like your mom that and live each day feeling happiness. Those were my father's last words. What are you saying? I didn't understand the meaning of these words at all, but these words stayed in my mind, and eventually I couldn't concentrate on work. The words left by my usually reticent father. I feel pain in my heart because even though I claimed the position of the top neurosurgeon to prove myself right and to show my parents that they were wrong, in the end I didn't succeed in proving myself. In the first place, my parents didn't want me to become a doctor. They wanted me to realize something more important. Realizing that I lost the meaning of practicing medicine. So I promptly quit my profession. For the first time, I felt the desire to know people's feelings. After blankly looking at my parents' honeymoon photos for a while, I suddenly had an idea. If I go there, something might change. With plenty of time on my hands and having accumulated considerable financial assets during my career as a neurosurgeon, even if nothing changes there, I can still enjoy my hobby of fishing here, providing a good distraction. That's it. I'll go here too. And so, I booked a one-way ticket to Hawaii, where my parents spent their honeymoon. From Honolulu, a local air carrier took me to Molokai Island. Well, I didn't know there was such a beautiful scenery in the States. I gasped at the emerald green sea spreading all around. Maybe because it's not featured much in guidebooks, there were no tourists. I sat down on the beach and spent some time blankly. Where did you come from? I wonder how many hours had passed when I heard a voice from behind. When I turned around, a woman in her 70s was looking at me. New York City, I replied. Are you on a solo trip? Yes. Have you decided where you're staying today? I was startled. I had thought I would just find a hotel after arriving on the island, but I had completely forgotten. No, not yet. We run an inn. Want to come? The building is 60 years old, so it's old, but we clean thoroughly, and my daughter's cooking is delicious too. Lucky that meals are included too. I decided to take advantage of her kindness and stay there that night. The woman introduced herself as Madison Johnson. She said she runs the inn with her daughter Emily. Having said that, Madison is 72 this year. Emily is the one who manages the inn, and Madison said she just does things she enjoys like cooking with vegetables grown in the garden. What's your name? Alex Thompson. That's a cool name like a celebrity's. You should thank your parents. That's the first time anyone has ever said that to me. I am shocked by Madison's words. What's wrong? Madison looks at me, who is like that, with a puzzled look. No, it's nothing. I, who hadn't properly talked with anyone in the past year, had completely forgotten how to converse and could only give short answers to Madison's questions. While that was happening, we arrived at the inn. Emily, we got a guest. He wants to stay the night. A refined, beautiful woman who looked good in an apron came out from inside. This is my daughter and our beautiful hostess, Emily. Oh Mom, really? But thank you. Emily smiled to me, looking embarrassed but happy. I am shocked again by this kind of parent-child relationship where she sincerely thanks her parent for praising her. What's with this mother and daughter? I felt a strange feeling about their relationship. I'm sorry for coming with no booking. Could I stay the night? Sure, no problem. Are you leaving tomorrow? No, I haven't decided yet. Unable to answer Emily's question well, my face suddenly felt hot. Perhaps being considerate of me like that. Both Madison and Emily smiled kindly. You can stay as long as you want. It's the off-season right now. We have vacancies. Next to Madison, Emily also nodded with a kind expression. Thank you very much. I think I'll stay for a while. And so, I ended up staying at Emily's Inn for a while. Both Emily and Madison didn't ask me anything about myself other than my name. They were probably being considerate, and I was very relieved by that. Talking with people who don't know anything about me, about things other than medicine. As someone who had been praised as the best neurosurgeon, I hadn't had an experience like that in over 10 years. Though when it comes to talking, I was an expert at just giving agreeable responses. Hawaiian specialties, history, dialect. They knew so many things I didn't know, and I could honestly think, wow, that's amazing. Perhaps thanks to their kindness and the beauty of nature. As I spent time on the island, I felt like I was becoming more well-rounded myself. On the morning of my 5th day on the island, when I returned to the inn after a walk on the beach, I heard Emily's voice from inside. Someone help. When I hurriedly went inside, Madison was collapsed near the stairs. Next to her, Emily was shaking Madison's body in a panic. Emily noticed me. Alex, please help. My mom passed out. Don't shake Madison. Emily flinched at my shout. Don't move her head. Saying that, I immediately went to Madison's side and checked her condition. Emily, did Madison suddenly collapse? I didn't see the moment she passed out, but I heard a loud thud. When I came here, my mom was lying on the floor unconscious. Did she fall down the stairs? Emily told me in a trembling voice. From Madison's condition, I suspected she had a stroke. Is there a hospital on this island? There is a small clinic, but in emergency cases, we call a medevac helicopter to transport to the main island. My mom will be okay, right? I answered Emily, who timidly asked, clearly, I don't know if she'll be okay. Oh no. Seeing Emily's face that looked like she was about to cry, I caught myself. I'm sorry. More importantly, she needs treatment right away. Please request emergency aeromedical helicopter transport immediately. I gave precise instructions to the panicking Emily, intended to Madison, and the helicopter arrived quickly. When the crew member saw my face, he seemed to recognize me right away. You're Dr. Alex Thompson, right? I nodded slightly. Dr. Alex, you're a doctor. Learning about my identity, Emily was surprised. Dr. Thompson is a very famous neurosurgeon. Doctor, could you please come with us to the main island and assist with the treatment? We'd greatly appreciate it. But I haven't practiced medicine for over a year. My skills have declined quite a bit. I tried to decline, saying that, but Emily clung to me crying. Alex, please save my mom. Save her. Can I save Madison? For the first time, I didn't have confidence in myself. Madison's chances of survival will greatly change depending on me. Thinking that the life of Madison, who is important to Emily, rests on me, my hands trembled. In the past, no matter how difficult the surgery or who was watching the surgery, I never felt anything. But what has happened to me now? I was strongly shaken by the change in myself. Dr. Thompson, please. With the paramedic also pleading me, I came to my senses. I'll do my best. Madison and her daughter, who let me stay without suspecting me even though I didn't say anything about myself. For the first time, I thought, I absolutely want to save the person in front of me. I got on the helicopter with Madison. Seen off by the people of the island who had gathered before I knew it, we soon arrived at the hospital on the main island. As I thought, Madison had a cerebral infarction. Can I perform the surgery? I humbly requested the hospital staff. I, who used to have people bow their heads to me saying please perform the surgery, am now pleading for the sake of a woman I happened to meet on a trip. I was the most surprised at myself for doing that. If you're okay with it, Dr. Thompson, we would be very grateful. By the way, do you know this person? She is the mother of the inn I was staying at. Everyone, we're going to save her. Of course, we will do our best to support you. The hospital management gave me consent to operate on Madison. It seems Emily also arrived at the hospital during the surgery. When I finished the surgery and exited the operating room, Emily was standing there looking like she was about to cry. Is my mom? She's all right. I think she'll wake up soon. Alex, thank you so much. Perhaps because the tension was released, Emily started sobbing. Leaving her to the staff, I headed to change my clothes. I stare at my hands. These hands have saved thousands of lives so far, but I've never felt such a sense of accomplishment. Even when a difficult surgery succeeded, even when I was thanked by the patient's family, I thought it's only natural that I can do it because I'm a doctor. With that mindset, I never got emotional. But now, I have a strange, fluffy feeling. After a while, I headed to Madison's hospital room. Next to the bed, Emily was gazing at Madison with a gentle expression. How is Madison? She's still sleeping. Madison was sleeping peacefully. Can I ask you something? Emily timidly asked about my past. Feeling like I could talk honestly with Emily and that she would listen properly, I started talking about myself. I don't understand people's feelings. Because I was good at studying, I received praise and lacked self-awareness as a student. However, after entering society, I encountered obstacles. My attitude toward patients became ruthless, lacking thoughtfulness and communication. My seniors scolded me at every turn. I was just doing what I was supposed to do matter-of-factly. What you were supposed to do. Diagnosing and treating illness is a medical profession. What's important is that the patient in front of you makes a recovery. Emily quietly nodded. I continue talking. I've never made a misdiagnosis in my career. I'm confident that I've always made the right choices. But my seniors kept scolding me over and over about the way I interacted with patients. As if they saw right through me. My parents worried about me at every turn. Are you getting along well with your patients? Wouldn't it be better for you to go into lab research rather than clinical-based work? Honestly, there was a part of me that thought it might be easier to just silently do my work in research. But out of defiance against my parents, I stubbornly clung to being a clinical-based neurosurgeon. I devoured medical literature from abroad and memorized the latest treatment methods and surgical techniques. Fortunately, I was good with my hands too, so I excelled at surgery. Eventually, armed with my proud memory and dexterity, I obtained the position of the best neurosurgeon that no one could deny. You put in a lot of effort. I never thought I'd be told something like that, and I teared up a little and fell silent at Emily's kind gaze. You worked harder than anyone to become an amazing person. I'm sure your dad and mom were happy about that. I shake my head. My parents never accepted me as a doctor until the very end. They opposed it when I aimed to become a doctor. They opposed it when I had just become one, and they didn't accept it even after I became a famous neurosurgeon. I told Emily my father's last words. In the end, and my father said this: I want to see this beautiful sea together with her. I want to eat delicious food together with her. I want to make her laugh. I hope you'll also meet someone like your mom that and live each day feeling happiness. Thinking Emily would understand everything, I let out what had been bothering me for so long. Any parent wants their child's happiness. Madison's voice rang out. I don't know when she had woken up. She opened her eyes slightly, looked at Emily and me, and smiled. Mom, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you woke up. As tears spilled out, Madison gently held Emily's hand. Emily, Alex, thank you for saving me. I must have heard thank you from patients thousands of times before, but Madison's thank you was different from the others. My heart felt warm and tight. It was the first time I felt this way. You have a nice expression. The way you are now, I'm sure you can understand. Saying that, Madison fiddled with her phone and showed me a photo. What? When is this from? In the photo, my parents were in front of the inn looking close. I knew it. They were your parents, Alex. Seeing my reaction, Madison seemed to gain confirmation. Madison told me about meeting my parents. It was about 6 years ago, I think. They said they had come here on their honeymoon and wanted to visit again. Just the two of them. Madison narrowed her eyes as if reminiscing. Just like now during the off-season, my parents and Madison enjoyed having drinks together at night. The three of them. Your dad and mom, you know, they were really worried about you. They said because you're insensitive to people's feelings, you're also insensitive to your own feelings. What? What does that mean? I fully understand that I don't get people's feelings, but insensitive to my own feelings. Realizing I couldn't comprehend it, Madison kindly explained. They said when you received a present, you weren't happy, and when you couldn't do a back hip circle, you weren't frustrated. The emotional expressions other kids could do, for some reason you lacked them. Come to think of it, that's true. I remember looking at people who cried in frustration or jumped for joy with a jaded eye, wondering what they were doing. Your mom said the reason you became a doctor was just to prove them wrong. There's no way you could feel joy as a doctor like that. That's right. I continued being a doctor to prove my parents wrong. That's why when my parents were gone, I lost the meaning of being a doctor. But you desperately tried to save my mom, didn't you? And just now, when my mom woke up, you had such a kind expression. You're a fine doctor, Alex. Emily looks straight at me and says that. That's right, be confident. You were having such a fun conversation with the island folks, clapping your hands and laughing, trying hard to keep your eyes open and listen to people even when sleepy. It's true, in these 5 days, I felt like my body and mind had somehow become lighter. Thanks to the island people who treated me as an individual despite not knowing me, I had become able to express myself honestly. Your parents guided you here. Seeing you now, I'm sure they're happily watching from above. Hearing Madison's words, I gaze at the sky through the hospital room window. The sky dyed red by the sunset. I remember my mom asking me why the sunset is red a long time ago. Because the sunlight refracts. Then an elementary school boy proudly explained what I had read in a picture book. My mom, who praised me saying that's amazing, had a slightly lonely expression then. The sunset is saying good job today. Another good day awaits tomorrow. I heard Emily's voice from behind. I see, that's what my mom wanted to convey to me then. I turn around to face Emily and Madison. The sunset warmly embraces people's hearts. That's why it's red. Hearing my words, the two of them smiled and nodded. Madison ended up being hospitalized for 3 months. Emily, you have to attend to your ing, and I'll be here for a while, so please let me take care of Madison. Since it would be difficult for Emily to commute from the island to the main island every day, I decided to stay on the main island and visit Madison. Thank you so much. We help each other out in times of need. I was surprised that such words naturally came out of my mouth, but at the same time, I was happy. And 3 months later, Madison was discharged as scheduled. When I returned to the island for the first time in a while, the island folks greeted me with cheers. I have a request for you, Alex. Representing everyone on the island, Emily stands in front of me. Would you stay on this island and become our doctor? What? But there's already one doctor, right? I thought one doctor would be plenty for this population. Yes, but he is already 78 years old. Is that so? He actually wanted to retire a long time ago, but there were no other doctors, so he's been managing to continue even now. If we have you, Dr. Alex, we'll feel at ease. You won't make nearly as much as in New York City, but we got plenty of fresh air and good food here. The island folks I had become close with stare at me. There were people here who needed me as a doctor. Before I knew it, tears were falling from my eyes. Alex, you saved my life. You visited me every day in Emily's place. You're a kind person who understands people's feelings. Be confident. Encouraged by Madison, I made up my mind. If you'll have me, please let me live here together with all of you. The island folks were overjoyed. Let's celebrate right away. To celebrate Madison being discharged and Alex becoming one of us. Everyone looks at me with sparkling smiles. Thank you so much. Thanks to the island people who accepted both the doctor me and the non-doctor me completely, I was able to be truly honest from the bottom of my heart. And so, I ended up becoming a doctor on this island once again. 1 year later, as I was preparing at the clinic, Emily came by. Alex, Grandma ran out of medicine, so she wants you to bring some over. She said to come before lunch. And then have lunch there before you go. You are popular, Alex. Emily laughs. The people on the island were incredibly kind. I'm not doing difficult surgeries here. What I'm doing is having conversations with people, which I used to be bad at. In the past, I would diagnose by the textbook and explain to patients like a robot. But it's different now. I woke up in the morning and my foot hurt. The bone isn't broken, but what did you do yesterday? Did you hit it somewhere? I take plenty of time to look at the patient's face and empathize with them. and I value the conversation. The island folks are helping me grow as a doctor every day. Then I'll go a little before noon. Imagining the grandma who will greet me with a smile, I naturally smile too. Hey, have a good day. We have 2 groups of guests today, so I gotta get ready quickly. Emily. I stop Emily, who was about to start pedaling her bike. What is it? I gather my courage and tell the puzzled Emily. Today's your birthday, right? Yes. How did you know? I heard from Madison. I get embarrassed and turn my face away from Emily. Emily stops her bike and comes in front of me. Happy birthday. Hey, thank you. I silently take out a small box from my white coat pocket. I don't know if you'll like this, but Emily gently opens the box, and her eyes light up. It's so beautiful. It's the color of the sea. Inside the box is an emerald green jewel necklace. While I was on the main island visiting Madison, I wandered around various shops. That's where this necklace caught my eye. I instantly thought it would suit you, so I bought it, but I couldn't find the right timing to give it to you. I have been holding onto it for over a year without being able to give it. Seeing me like that, Emily smiles kindly. I'm so happy. I feel like it's filled with your feelings for as long as you had it, Alex. Hearing Emily's words, I turn red, but I can't turn back now. I make up my mind and say to Emily, I want to see the beautiful ocean with you, Emily. I want to eat delicious food together. I want to make you laugh. That's how I feel. I'm happy when I'm with you, Emily. Will you stay with me forever? I gather my courage and propose. Emily falls silent for a while. Until I hear her answer, I feel my heart beating loudly. I've never felt this way before. After a while, Emily raises her head. Are you sure you want to marry me, who only knows about this ordinary island? I want you to stay with me for the rest of my life, Emily. Thanks to you and the people on this island, I can hold my head high in front of my parents now. Hey. I'm sure my mom will be happy too. I look forward to our future together. Amazingly, Emily accepted my proposal. Yay! I shout and unconsciously pump my fist. Hey. You living honestly is wonderful, Alex. Emily's kind gaze makes my heart feel so warm.